Happiness has finally found its way into our home, Max, and says to his mother, Mom, just look, not one, but two babies, twins. Now your wish will finally come true. Mala, the first wife, asks in shock, Who is this woman? Max arrogantly replies, No need to talk nonsense. She is the soon-to-be mother of my two children. She did what you couldn't do in the last 10 years. Mom, now your wish is going to be fulfilled. Both mother and son get overjoyed, almost acting like they've gone crazy. The old woman lovingly holds the new bride, Emily, by the arm and says, Come, sit down comfortably. Emily, standing proud, says, When people bring even an animal into their house, they check it first. But you brought in a barren daughter-in-law without checking. The mother signals with her hand and says excitedly, Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Then suddenly turns angry at Mala. Enough is enough. Quietly signed these divorce papers. Max snatches the papers from his mother's hands and throws them at Mala in anger. The old woman says bitterly, What was the use of feeding and raising you for 10 years when you couldn't even give us an heir to this house? Mala says, You people are doing a huge injustice to me. She sits at the table and starts signing the papers. Max turns to his new wife and says lovingly, My love, from today you don't have to do any household chores. Just take care of yourself. Mala signs the papers. Max, now you finally understand how big of a sin it is not to give birth to a child. Get out of here. Mala gets up and starts to leave. Suddenly, she turns back and says, You always promised me you'd put this house in my name. How can you do this to me now? Max, this house in your name? That was only ever your dream. The old woman mocks her too, saying, We're not foolish enough to give our house to a barren woman. I'll give this house to my coming grandson. And enough talking, just get out. Mala tries to speak, but Max cuts her off. Women with empty wombs have no right to speak. The three of them, Mala says in, You people are doing me so wrong. Max mocks her even further. I'm shocked you could even imagine with that pathetic face of yours that I'd put this house in your name. Look at yourself, no better than a beggar. And then look at my Emily. Her beauty shines from head to toe. Her fragrance fills the air. And above all, her belly speaks louder than any words. That belly is slapping you in the face. Now get out. Mala and says, I will never forgive you all for this, and leaves. As she goes, Max suddenly breaks down. Emily, too, removes the fake baby bump from under her clothes and says, I think we went too far with that poor woman. Max answers, No, this is better for her. Otherwise, she would have spent her whole life with a man who couldn't even father children. And if we told her the truth, she would have never left me. The old woman also begins and says, My daughter-in-law was truly one in a million. Outside, Mala's heart suddenly pounds hard. She quickly turns back and runs toward her home. Final note to the viewers. How do you rate Max's sacrifice of love for giving Mala a better life?